Today, we are stepping forward with a major announcement pertaining to a filing that we'll be making later this afternoon to defend the integrity of women's sports here in West Virginia. We are today filing at the U.S. Supreme Court to lift that injunction.
So that was West Virginia Attorney General Patrick Morrisey announcing the state will ask the Supreme Court to allow West Virginia to enforce a law restricting where transgender athletes can participate.
And the law is known as Save Women's Sports Act, which passed in April of 2021, aiming to ban biological male students who identify as women from participating in women's sports. Lainey Armistead is a former University of West Virginia soccer player pushing to protect women in sports, and Patrick Morrisey is the Attorney General in West Virginia. Thank you both for coming on. We appreciate that. AG, if I can start with you, just a legal setup, if you can. Talk to us about the bill, where it stands today, and the support behind it.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you so much for having us on. And I want to commend Lainey. Lainey is a very courageous young woman who can actually talk about her own experiences. And I think that's very powerful, because to me, this ultimately comes down to a matter of basic fairness and common sense. Now, several years ago, the West Virginia legislature, getting concerned about the growing prevalence of biological males participating in women's sports, said, we're going to proactively try to address that. And they passed a law that had a very simple premise. If you're a biological male, you wouldn't be participating in the women's sports team. I think to most people, this was not controversial, but a lawsuit was filed. There was an immediate injunction put against the law. But then we went to work, and Lainey went to work, explaining what the law was all about, showing the evidence, the difference between males and females, and the advantages that biological males have in the process. Just this January, a district court overturned his own injunction and sided with the state and with Lainey, saying that biological males should be separated from women. And that was a huge victory. Unfortunately, the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals reinstated the injunction without any reasoning or explanation. Now we're going up to the U.S. Supreme Court. We're trying to lift that injunction because this matter of basic fairness shouldn't be in place. You shouldn't overrule the democratically elected legislature in West Virginia on such a straightforward matter.
This has been going on for years now, as you describe, AG. Lainey, let me ask you about what it's been like to go along for every step of the journey. Why do you feel so passionate that biological men should be not allowed to participate in women's sports?
I feel passionate because I grew up with brothers, and I played alongside them. And even from a young age, I have a younger brother, and he was always stronger, fitter, and faster than me. So being able to defend this law with General Morrisey and all the support, I feel like I'm being heard. And women don't just deserve to participate, we deserve to be able to compete on a fair playing field. We deserve scholarships and a chance at a podium.
Lainey, I kind of want to stay with you and your specific story. Obviously, this has become a national story in many regards, not just with soccer, but with other sports as well, competitive sports as well. What's it been like? Because it continues to remain controversial. Have you seen support for your views? Have you seen opposition for your views?
I've had an overwhelming amount of support for my views. I've had girls reaching out to me, calling me, and telling me that they're glad that I'm taking a stand. And there's already so many other brave women who are taking a stand, and I just hope that we can get other people to jump on the bus with us and say this isn't fair, and just take that stand and be passionate about it.
Yeah, absolutely. It takes courage, again, to speak out on an issue that has become so controversial. It's always in the headlines, by the way, whether it's soccer or track and field or swimming, right? We've talked about the challenges that biological women might face if you're competing against biological men. AG, when it comes to your case, any expectations or predictions what might happen when it reaches SCOTUS, considering the makeup of the court?
So we just filed late last week, and we know that we expect that they're going to give the other side the opportunity to submit their papers in response. So I think we're going to learn in the next few weeks what happens. The court may either decide on the papers, or they could consider to treat this as a grant for cert, and then we could have a whole argument over this. We're not sure what's going to happen yet, but we feel really good that on the merits, we're absolutely correct. We know that this law is designed to protect women's sports, and it's also about basic fairness. It's consistent with the Constitution. It's consistent with the law, and I think it just is going to help women obtain additional athletic and leadership opportunities.
Well, however the outcome, we hope that both of you will come back to National Report, share that outcome, share your response. That's West Virginia Attorney General Patrick Morrisey, Lainey Armistead joining us live. Thank you both. We appreciate that.